KTN Prime, many thanks for staying with us. Now, the leadership wrangles at the University of Nairobi are now threatening to cripple the running of the institution. There are reports that workers' salaries have not been paid, even as the process of receiving and registering new first-year students continues to face uncertainty. Meanwhile, divisions have begun to emerge within the university's students. One faction is supporting Professor Isaac Mbeche, while the other appears to throw its weight behind Professor Peter Kiama. And as Shadrack Mitty now reports, the university staff have reiterated their support for Professor Mbeche, insisting as employees of a government institution that they are under every obligation not to disrespect the position taken by the Education Cabinet Secretary.
The University of Nairobi workers and staff converged at the university's Great Court to discuss the way forward on the crisis and leadership wrangles, which, unless urgent and immediate steps are taken, may bring the global stature and the long-standing scholarly excellence associated with the premier institution to its knees. They have not been paid, and thanks to the wrangles, not a single thing seems to be moving in the right direction. And so, they were here to seek divine intervention.
We have a leadership crisis occasioned by a court order that was issued the day before yesterday. And that order is being interpreted in different ways.
But as they continue to deliberate on the general state of affairs at the university, an uninvited guest in the form of the embattled Vice-Chancellor, Professor Gitau Kiama, appeared. And the staff appeared not so pleased with his presence. But even as Professor Kiama insisted that he had no bad intentions, the workers accused him of working so hard to stamp his authority besides seeking attention and relevance.
The Act divides, describes who are members of staff in the university. That is, members of staff is management staff, academic staff, and the support staff. I am a member of staff in the University of Nairobi, and that is why I came to join them.
The institution, like you can see, is at a halt. Anyone saying the opposite is lying. All these members of staff should have been at work. They are not.
Professor Kiama was appointed Vice-Chancellor by the University Council on the 5th of January. And 2 weeks later, Education Cabinet Secretary Professor George Magoha revoked his appointment, dissolved the University Council, and appointed Professor Isaac Mbeche, acting Vice-Chancellor. Consequently, Professor Kiama moved to court where his appointment was upheld until the matter is heard and determined. But as the drama continues to unfold, the Public Service Commission Chairperson Stephen Kirogo has defended the Commission against any wrongdoing.
And much as the court may have given the order was given after hearing only one of the parties. And we think that is injudicious. The court should have given both parties time to present their positions before issuing an order that imposes leadership on us.
You know, the office of the Vice-Chancellor is a public office. Just like all the other offices you see here, they are public offices. You occupy this 5 years, another person will come 5 years, another person will come 5 years. It is not a personal space. It belongs to the public, and is set aside for the office, not for the person.
As per the law, the Public Service Commission did what the law assigns to the Public Service Commission. The rest of the steps are done by the Council together with the Ministry. We do not have a load there.
Meanwhile, the Kiama Mbeche axis is beginning to create divisions at the university. The student union is split right down the middle, with one faction supporting Professor Mbeche, while the other is behind Professor Kiama.
That as right now, we are fully and back supporting one Professor Mbeche, who was appointed by the ministry.
We shall appoint our Vice-Chancellor and disappoint any Vice-Chancellor. There's power. For now, we recognize the acting Vice-Chancellor, Professor Isaac Mbeche.
The court order in place permits us to work with Professor Kiama Gitau as a students' union, and that is our stand, and we are going to follow the rules of this country to the letter.
Professor Kiama was a comrade in the University of Nairobi. Therefore, he's the choice for comrades. His appointment was not by a choice or a mistake. It was God's answers to comrades' prayers.
That there is a leadership crisis at the University of Nairobi cannot be overemphasized, the evidence of which is the continued pulling apart by different factions. But even as the embattled Professor Kiama tries hard to stamp his authority, it is clear the matter may take long before it is solved.